Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Take Two for this Thursday, June the 7th, 2018. First things first, a very happy wedding anniversary to my sister Fran and her husband Scott. It just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Just wanted to send my love and my greetings this morning. Well, today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about imagination, or in some cases, lack of imagination. Now, I think it's very important to use our imagination for things, but as this life has been moving on, and how the new electronics that are out and all of these things, the information highway at our fingertips, we have lost, to a degree, the use of our imaginations. I'll give you an example. Now, I have my degree in English, so I had to do a lot of writing, a lot of papers. I had to write short stories. I had to write prose and poetry and novel, like working on how it would be to write a novel, etc., etc. And of course, I've also helped my husband write his books, as well as ghost wrote a couple of books for some other people. And so I have to use my imagination, especially when it's coming up with things like adjectives and that kind of thing. Well, in this day and age, if I need an adjective and I'm not pleased with the one that's there, like for example, say the word happy. Okay, I would have to stop and think, okay, what could I use instead of the word happy? All I got to do is this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, happy. I'll Google it, okay? I'll Google my thesaurus and see what it says. Happy, content, joyful, ecstatic, glee-filled. These are just some words that I could use instead of the word happy. Now think about days of old, the great classics that were written, some books that were written out there, some great papers that were written in days of old. They didn't have this. They may not have even had a hard copy thesaurus, which would be the one that I would use in my college years. It had to come from their imagination. So there was a lot of creativity involved back in the day. And the same could go for something as simple as playing games with your children. Now, in this day and age, a lot of kids go play a game. Okay, mommy, boom, 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 boom. And this is how they're playing games. Instead of the way we may have played games as kids, where we went outside and played, and the only tools we had was what we could come up with in our heads. Now, I am so pleased to say that my uber intelligent nephew Jimmy is one of those amazing children who can do this very thing. He has made up his own games. Now remember, until baby came a couple of days ago, he was an only child, and so as often happens with only children, they create their own games because they're the only ones that they have to play with. So he comes up with this amazing stuff. Like, for example, he loves to play the buy this, buy that game. And it's like, what does that mean? So if he's home and playing the game, what he does is he pantomimes that he's going around the house and it's a grocery store and he's putting things in the cart. Do we need this? Do we need that? Do we need this? Do we need that? And then when you actually go to the grocery store with him, which I had the privilege of doing a couple of months ago when I was up visiting, is we're pushing the cart and you kind of pretend that you're not paying attention, and then Jimmy grabs any old thing off the shelf and drops it in and says, do we need this? Do we need that? So it might be a jumbo size Quaker Oats, family size Quaker Oats. Do we need this? Or like when we're walking around the health and beauty aids. Now mind you got to remember, it's whatever he could reach because he's just kind of, small. So he gets a double pack of fleet enemas and throws those in the cart. Do we need this? Do we need that? Not necessarily, but that's a game he likes to play. Now, did that take anything but his imagination? Of course not. But then, of course, after we left the store, then we go home and we play the ice cream shop game. Now, that is totally pantomimed. What he does is he says, okay, can I take your order for your ice cream? And you say yes, and you come up with crazy combinations like, I'll have the mustard pizza, bubble gum flavored ice cream, please. Okay. And he'll go up the steps and he'll go into one of the guest rooms or the bathroom up there, and you hear him talking like he's making an ice cream sundae for you, and he comes back down and goes, here you go. And it's all pantomimed. Is that not amazing? That child is using his imagination. Now, please understand, I am one of the users of this amazing information highway, and the internet is a great and wonderful thing to have. But sometimes it takes the place of something as simple as using your brain and using your imagination. So are you a person who doesn't use their imagination as much as you used to? Are you watching a TV show and you see an actor on there and you go, gosh, that person looks familiar. I wonder who he is. And instead of taking a few minutes to actually let your brain process to try to remember, you do the shortcut. Google will find it for me, and then you do it. We have traded in a lot of the use of our brain because we don't want to work so hard for Google. Be careful. Now, like I said, I like having Google at my fingertips. I like being able to use those tools for creativity, but sometimes it's good to just get a piece of paper and a pencil and write some thoughts down, or just to let your imagination go and come up with creative things strictly from here and from life experiences and that sort of thing. Okay? So don't ever forget the importance of using your imagination. And before you hand your child an electronic toy to play with, why don't you encourage him or her to play by just imagining things? Imagination. It's something that we've been blessed with, and we never ever want to lose that. Hey, go be a blessing to somebody today. Just imagine the possibilities of the ways that you can be a blessing to somebody. You might end up being the only one who is, and we don't want to imagine that, okay? And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Jeanne Sigler, JeanneSigler. Become a subscriber and imagine listening to some great music. WRMZ.org. Click that listen button. Have a blessed day, everybody. I hope it's great. I can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be. I'll see you tomorrow for our Friday edition. I love ya. Bye-bye. Imagine that.